In this episode, we will create application load balancers to front ECS services. Those load balancers will be defined in a custom construct. The load balancers reference security groups, so we will create a custom construct to define all security groups for this application. Let's add a new file, security groups.py. We can copy these two lines and reuse them. Next, we can import the security groups module. Now we can define the class my security groups inherits from construct, of course. Next is to add dunder init, self, scope, and name. And we'll pass a VPC ID to associate plus was. Okay, next is to initialize the parent class. Always with scope and name. Add an object, service lbsg, security group, self, and the name lbsg, and the VPC ID. Next is to create rules for the SG. Let's check how it's done. Okay, let's search for the security group rule. Here we are, open it. And the submodule implements this TF resource. The reason to show it is these new resources: SG egress rule and SG ingress rules. Let's use these in our construct. VPC security. Here we go, egress and ingress. This is the egress rule. Here's the class, import it from here. Let's check for the required params. Scope ID, IP protocol, and the security group ID. Okay, expected. Ingress shouldn't be different. Scope ID, protocol, and the SG ID. Great. Okay, let's import the VPC security group egress rule. VPC security group egress. We'll import the submodule, and same for the ingress. Okay, great. Now we can create an instance of the VPC security group ingress rule. And then the construct ID, which is service ALB ingress. The IP protocol is TCP from port. This one is an integer 80. To port 80 as well. IP CIDR is the entire world. This one is a string. And the security group binding with the self service LBSG ID. The ingress rule is defined. Next is to define the egress rule. Let's do that. It's the VPC security group egress and itself service ALB egress. Okay, we're not going to restrict the protocol. It's for any protocols. So the IP protocol equals -1. This one is taken straight from the TF docs. Destination is anywhere. So it's a 000 string side. And bind it to the service ALBSG security group. Okay. Alright, let's save it and try to use it in main. Okay, let's import it from security groups, input my security groups. Okay, next, let's add an object. My security groups, passing self, name. Next is VPC ID and the VAS. These are the params we are passing to the construct. Okay, let's check for any syntax errors. Okay, cdktf syn. No errors, great. Let's try to deploy it. And we've got an error. This one is missing its mask. Does it tell us in which object? Oh, it's the egress rule. Okay, dismiss this plan. And fix the egress rule by adding the missing mask, 0. Okay, give it another try. Deploy. No more errors. Great. We are ready to add load balancers to the app. This time we'll try the cdktf convert command to convert this HCLTF file to Pi. Some placeholders in this file will have to be replaced after the conversion is done. We'll address this later. Let's see how the conversion goes first. To convert, we need to read the file, pipe it to the cdktf convert, and set the language, and redirect to .py. After the conversion is done, we'll examine the result. Great. Okay, the required inputs are in place. We don't care about this statement for now. This is the class. We'll rename it, of course, my ALB in plural. Rename this object to service ALB. Okay, security groups, we need to pass security groups to this class. Replace this placeholder. Security group ID. These are subnets, so let's pass those as well. Sub.id for sub in subnets. Great. Okay, won't be changing the target root name for now. It doesn't matter. Port is 1990, to be replaced with a var later perhaps. Lifecycle, didn't name prefix. This one is okay. Test is to be replaced with the service ALB object. We need the arn of it. Okay. Anything else? Oh, one more thing is to replace this VPC ID with VPC ID, and we need to pass it as an argument. Okay, now we can edit. Alright, save, and we'll use it in the main now. Okay, let's import the ALB construct here. My ALBs. Next is to create an object called service ALB, which is my ALBs. We pass self, its name. And next is the security groups. Do we need to include the ID? No, we do not. And then VPC ID. No, the subnets first. Right? Yeah, next is the subnets. And then the VPC ID. Okay. We can add an output now. Self, the gold ALB name. Oh, the ID must be unique. Okay, fantastic. Value is gold service lb dot service lb dot id. Save and check for any errors. Okay, cdktf scene. No errors. Great. Let's try to deploy everything. What is being deployed here? This is the ALB, the listener, and this could be a problem. We get a type forward, but missing the target group on. Okay, this line was missing from the plan. Well, this could be reason for the failure to deploy. Let's see what happens after I approve this plan. And it has failed. Failed with this message. Group on must be specified. Let's examine the listener class to learn what went wrong. Okay, this is the listener submodule. Here's the class. What have we got here? Here's the default action block. Okay. So where is this default action? Let's see. Here we go. Oh, this link is dead. Okay, here's the block. It is a required one. And it implements this TF resource. Here's the default action example. It has type and the target group arn. Okay. This is an interesting example. The type is redirect, and the redirect has its own block. Let's check whether this can be done for the forward type. Default action block is here. Within the block is the type. Forward is one of the options. Okay. Oh, there is the forward block, and it's optional one. And the forward block has two params. And the target group is a required one. And the target group block lists on as a required param. Okay, let's try to use the forward block in the default action. Let's check whether the class supports the forward block. Forward. This is the default action block. It has forward and the target group on. Our syntax was correct. Here's the order param. So it accepted forward, added order, but ignored target group on. So here's the forward. And what is this link? It's a dead one. This is the optional forward block. And what about this link? Does this one work? Oh, same TF resource, great. The optional forward block is supported. We'll try it. The forward block, it has the target group and the stickiness, exactly like this one, target group. And what does this target group do? Nothing. Another dead link. Here's the target group block, and it is required. Lovely. Let's take the lblistener out of this construct and create a dedicated one to troubleshoot it. Add a new file, lblistener.py. Copy these inputs and remove what isn't needed. Now we create the class my lblistener. Dev thunder init. Scope, name, and the lb argument for the on and target group. Initialize the parent class. Add the listener object. We can take these lines out of here and copy them. This target group should be lb.target group. And this one just the lb on. We've got the target group 1 defined here. Okay, let's save this new lblistener construct and try it in the main. We need to import this new construct. Add its object here. It's lblistener. Self and the construct ID. lblistener. and the ALB argument. We are passing the ALB object, and in it we can reference the service ALB. We'll need to reference the target group 1 as well. So this one is fine. This one should be alb.service underscore alb on. And it's not self. So we've got the ALB here. We've got the object. What's this one? Taking the on of it, and same for the target group 1. Great. Let's save the changes and check for any syntax errors. Okay, let's run cdktf scene. No errors. Great. Try to deploy it now. Well, let's deploy all stacks. Deploy. Let's see what have we got here. The ALB, and here's the lblistener, and the same default action block. The target group is missing. The problem is reproducible and persistent. This plan will fail. Okay, let's try the favorite optional block configuration. We'll keep the type. Copy this one, reuse it. We will not need this one. Leave type as favorite and define the block. The target group as a key here. Let's go group. And value is a list with the ARN as a key. And the ALB target group 1 is value. Yeah, this one is ARN. Still got the load balancer, port, protocol. Everything is in place. We've just changed this config block. Okay, let's check for any syntax errors. cdktf synth. Okay, what's the error here? Oh, it's the missing comma. Let's try it again. We've got a new error. How exciting! Missing required properties for lblistener. Target group. The target group key is there. Let's review the class docs again. Search for the target group. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Here we go. And this is the favorite block. it is the target underscore group. Interesting. Let's try to replace the target underscore group with target group. The error was about this one. Let's save it and see what happens next. What do you say to that? No errors. Surprise, surprise. Let's try to deploy it now. Well, let's see what is being deployed now. Would you believe this? Here's the elusive target group and it's on. The forward block works. And it is indeed target underscore group. Well, an unfortunate bug. Okay, let's approve the plan. Success. What version is this? 0.19.2. What will happen after we replace this Pythonic notation with the TypeScript-like? Let's swap these rows. Save, and let's check for syntax errors. No errors. Okay, deploy it. Nothing to deploy or change. That TypeScript-like notation worked without any complaints about it. Okay, I'll destroy the project-wise stack. Destroy project-y. Approve. And now we'll redeploy it. Just this stack. Okay, let's see what we've got. Here it is. The elusive target groups on. What do you say to that? Well, we know what the problem was. This stack is built.